What's going on, everybody? It's just another day in the kitchen, back with another episode, and today we're taking a look at Travis Scott's impact on the sneaker culture, his relationship and history with the Jordan brand. And the reason why I'm making this video is because it was recently his 32nd birthday, and in particular, I saw this photo with his iconic Travis Scott Jordan 1 sneaker. And when I think about kind of like my history with him and his legacy relative to these sneaker drops, I'm sure everybody in here can agree that they've taken many, many L's, but he's actually had a pretty cool story, and we're going to talk about that. So, of course, we all know that his sneaker relationship has to do with the Jordan brand, and here he is with none other than Michael Jordan himself. Now, if you're not hip to it, Jordan is not an easy guy to please, and the fact that he was willing to participate with Travis and even wear his signature Travis Scott Jordan 1s here and really give him the green light or cosign to really build and establish himself within the Jordan brand as, a person that's not even an athlete. I think that's a really huge cosign and part of the reason why we were able to get so many amazing sneakers. Now, it wouldn't be right if I didn't mention that he did have some misses, like these Jordan 33s, I think they are, and of course these Travis Scott trainers, which if you cop them, more power to you. I'm not trying to be a hater, but they're not my favorite. Now, of course, I think it's important to also note that by comparison, Drake is probably a lot bigger than Travis Scott, we can all agree, and the fact that even he has not had as big or even as close of an illustrious career within the sneaker industry, I think that's pretty telling. Now, when it comes to his influence, I think we can all agree that Travis Scott is pretty responsible for the rise in interest in things like the Dunks and the Nike SB, just Dunk lows in general. He was always wearing a lot of heat, and it got a lot of people inspired, especially over the last few years. And of course, he also was rewarded with his own Nike SB Dunk Low right here, which you guys can see. And it's one of my favorite pairs that I was able to get my hands on myself. So let me know in the comments if you also agree. Now, throughout Travis Scott's sneaker journey, he's also been able to establish relationships with some pretty interesting people you wouldn't expect. Here he is with Hiroshi Fujiwara, who is the owner of Fragment Designs, also a very legendary Japanese designer as well as DJ. And if you didn't know, their relationship and collaboration spawned these Travis Scott Jordan 1 Fragment High and Lows, which everybody wanted to get their hands on just a couple of years ago, and which are still worth several $1,000s on the resale front. Now, I think it's also important to acknowledge while he did have collabs with big corporations such as McDonald's and Fortnite, he also did have limited edition collabs like this with PlayStation, which produced very, very few pairs and mainly given for friends and family. Now, that I mentioned friends and family, I think it's also cool to highlight that he created its own economy relative to his own sneakers. Right now, we're taking a look at the Travis Scott Jordan 4 Friends and Family, which are basically these burgundy or purple ones. And as you can see, they're pretty hard to come by. The most recent pair sold for $26,000. So you can see why there's an allure and mystique to getting your own hands on them. And let me know if you would actually pay that yourself. And another thing I also wanted to point out is that I definitely think that the hype generated from his sneakers and clothing definitely helped out his status in the music industry. He is a great artist and he's a master of the auto-tune, but I think it's cool how a lot of times at his shows he'll even take the shoes off of his feet and give them to the fans, pretty much spreading the hype even more. Now, in this photo, you can see his release history of the Travis Scott Jordan 1 lows, and the word on the street is that they're no longer going to be producing these in the future, so I kind of wanted to also make this video to touch point on that, given that this last drop for the Travis Scott Jordan 1 low olives was pretty bad, and let me know if you agree in the comments. Now, as I kind of had that photo of him handing out the L earlier in the video, I think a big part of his legacy has to do with frustration and the fact that a lot of the fans weren't able to get their hands on actual sneakers. Back in the day, he had a system of first come, first serve when you would go to his website, shop.travisscott.com, and I actually was able to hit on a couple of pairs for retail before they then ended up going to this boring and kind of whack raffle system. A lot of times botters are able to get their hands on them, and a lot of people get frustrated. Now, I've been seeing this argument as well online that people are either tired or burnt out of Travis Scott's, given that this most recent collab, these olives, are pretty much below $1,000, which is kind of uncommon, and let me know what you think. Overall, I think Travis Scott's sneaker legacy is here to stay, and he definitely created something different. Whenever you see that backwards reverse swoosh, you know it has to do with Travis Scott, and personally, I don't hate all of the sneakers that he put out. Now, if you made it this far, definitely go ahead and like and subscribe. Let me know your favorite Travis Scott Jordan, if you actually own any. And of course, thanks for making it this far. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, guys. And thanks for cooking with the kitchen. Peace.